You see, I found a prophecy. Yep, and there she is, the mother of all asteroids, screaming towards us. Even going underground won't save us this time.
How are we supposed to change what is literally written in stone?
Ah, my cynical friend. The dinos were wiped off the face of the Earth, but some escaped. They changed their fate, and we can change ours too.
Whoa. Is it my time, Angel?
Time for what?
You see, there's this thing in the sky.
Oh, that blinding light that seems to get larger by the minute? What about it? It seems fine to me.
We're all about to die.
We are young, happy, and safe, and we always will be. Thanks to Geotopia.
Kudos, it is lovely. Now let's figure out a way to launch it into space.
I'm sorry, you want to destroy our home?
It'll be destroyed either way. Bad news! Somebody up there doesn't like us.
I knew it! I was right! There's no paradise!
What? I'm too young to go extinct? Ah!
Who's with me?
So, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm worried the weasel's right.
No! Don't listen to the weasel! He's a raving loon!
Sorry, I just love playing devil's advocate. Let my mammals pass!
Why can't we just fear the apocalypse like a normal family?
But how do you tell someone they're doomed?
We're not doomed, Buck. It was just a meteor shower and the show's over. Ah!
Oh, quite the contrary, old chap. It's just beginning.
Hello, welcome to a winter edition LED. Today we have brought the cold in. We're gonna discuss a movie called Ice Age, and I have some awesome guests today to come and discuss this with me. Caleb, Oliver, Haley, Sophia, and Christopher, welcome to the show. So tell me a little bit about you guys. Do you know anything about this movie?
Heard about Ice Age, but I've never heard of it. I've never watched this specific movie. I may have seen like a little bit of like the first one or something like that, but I haven't watched this specific.
All right, anyone else seen any of these?
Yeah, I haven't. I've heard of it, I've heard people talking about it, but I haven't really seen it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, good. So this will be kind of fresh to you. How about you guys?
I haven't seen it or watched it. I've seen ads,
Okay.
but besides that, no.
So you know what it is?
I know what it is a
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay.
I've seen, I think, a lot of them in the past. I haven't seen this specific one, but I do know I'm very familiar with Ice Age.
I've watched several of these in the past also, but I haven't seen it in like the past 2 years. So.
Okay, so this will be kind of a refresher for some of you guys. Some of you guys haven't seen this at all. But if you've seen any work that our ministry has done, we analyze these things by putting on the biblical glasses. We're gonna watch a couple clips, and then I wanna know what you guys think, what you guys see. Do you see anything spiritual in some of these clips? If you can think about some of the biblical things that come to mind when you watch it. All right.
The universe, a vast expanse of space and matter. It includes all that we see and all that we know. Since the beginning of time, we have wondered how it came to be. A gloriously orchestrated plan? A chance series of events? Or something much, much dumber?
All right. What did we just hear?
It was like asking how the world came, and then stating some like reasons why. Like, was it by chance? Was it dumber or something like that?
Yes,
and
good. Was it a divine design? Was it orchestrated in some way, right? Which would basically be like God creating the world, right? Or something much dumber than that. Now, when you say something is much dumber than that, what does that make you think?
Irrelevant, stupid.
So, of course, they're discussing the end of the world as they know it. The Ice Age is it a Christian worldview? Is it a creative worldview? Is it an evolutionary worldview? What do you think?
I think it's to this movie, it's partially creative and it's evolutionary.
Yes, okay. They're obviously showing animals do those animals exist now?
No.
No, so they're extinct, right? So of course they are discussing these animals and how they became extinct. All right, so here's a little clip just to show you kind of what is going on in the story.
Look, there's more coming! Meteor shower!
The cave! Get inside! Move! Move! What are you doing here?
Well, what? I'm trying! But how do you tell someone they're doomed?
We're not doomed, Buck. It was just a meteor shower and the show's over. Ah!
Oh, quite the contrary, old chap. It's just beginning. You see, I found a prophecy.
All right, what do you guys think?
It's interesting that they have the meteor shower as like not kind of the flood and a reason as to why the dinosaurs were wiped out. Because that's what a lot of, I think, evolutionists say, is that the dinosaurs were wiped out by meteors or meteor shower.
Right, and he's reading something that was this big stone item, right? And he's saying that he found a what?
Prophecy.
Prophecy. What do you think of when you think of prophecy?
Revelation, maybe the book of Daniel.
Okay, so give me a prophecy that you know of in the Bible about the world.
Well, Jesus is gonna come.
Okay, what happens to the world then?
Well, disaster starts happening, like different things like earthquakes, meteor showers.
Interesting, right? The end of the world is prophesied in the Bible, right? And there is an interesting prophecy. Can you think of a prophecy where a rock is going to come and...
In King Nebuchadnezzar's dream.
King
when the rock
Nebuchadnezzar's
came
dream,
in,
right?
Destroyed the idol.
Destroyed the idol. And what did that symbolize?
Jesus' kingdom coming.
Yes, Jesus' kingdom. So what was the prophecies really going over and talking about? What aspect of the world?
The end of time.
The end of time, right? But it showed the different kingdoms that were going to exist, right? Until there was a final kingdom that would come and be set up and be an everlasting kingdom, right? Here's what he says about this prophecy.
Let me get this straight. Instead of running away from a deadly asteroid, you want us to run directly towards it.
I know it sounds suboptimal, but the good news is it'd kill us no matter where we went.
Well, that's reassuring.
Okay, but even if we get to the crash site, how are we supposed to change what is literally written in stone?
Ah, my cynical friend. The dinos were wiped off the face of the earth, but some escaped. They changed their fate, and we can change ours too.
So the information that's being told to you is there's a prophecy that the end of the world is coming from this rock that's hitting it. And what does he say he can try to do?
He can stop it.
He can stop it, right? Do you think that there's a prophecy in the Bible that is what's going to happen in the end of the world? Do we have any control over that?
No.
Not at all, right? In fact, this is what it says in the prophecy of Daniel, which you brought up, Christopher. You saw, O king, behold, a great image. This image, mighty and exceeding brightness, stood before you, and it appeared as its appearance was frightening. The head of the image was the gold, in its chest, and its arms, and its silver, and its thighs of bronze, and its legs of iron, and its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. As you looked, a stone was cut out by no human hand, and it struck the image on its feet of iron and clay, and it broke them into pieces. And then the iron and the clay and the bronze and the silver and the gold all together were broken into pieces and became like chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away so that not a trace of them could be found. But the stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. That's the prophecy of the stone that is going to basically set up the kingdom. Now, who's the stone?
Jesus.
Jesus, right? In fact, the Bible just describes him as a rock. So this is kind of an interesting parallel that they're kind of beginning to discuss. End of the world, this is happening.
He's basically saying he can change and not die. Like,
he can change the end of the world.
Change what's written in stone.
Something that's written in stone. Now, is that biblical language or not?
yeah, the Ten Commandments were written.
Yeah, Ten Commandments written in stone, right? Something is written that cannot be changed. And here they're discussing now, the whole movie begins to unfold in a way of how do we stop the end of the world? That's really what's going on here, okay? So, This is what Isaiah 55:11 says, "So shall my word that goes out from my mouth, it shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing which I sent it." What does that mean?
And whatever, I guess, God or Jesus says, it will come to pass and it will be fulfilled.
So if there's a prophecy that something in the end of the world is going to happen, will it happen, yes or no?
Yes, and we cannot change it.
Absolutely, we can't change it. There's nothing that we can do to actually prevent or stop any of that, right? Okay, so this is kind of an interesting story, right? Here we go. Malachi 4:1. Christopher, can you read this?
For behold, the day is coming, burning like an oven, when all the arrogant and evildoers will be stubble. The day that is coming shall set them ablaze, says the Lord of hosts, so that it will leave them neither root nor branch.
Now, what is this talking about?
The fire at the end of the world.
The fire at the end of the world, right? There's a fire at the end of the world that is going to basically burn up all the existing things of the world and all of the evil that's ever been done on this planet, and it's going to reset it for something new, right? That's what this is that's what this is talking about. Well, that also happens to be what the storyline is in this story. Now, what kind of an animal is this?
Looks like some kind of bird-dinosaur mix.
Okay, bird-dinosaur mix. We have a term for that. What do you call that?
Dragon.
A dragon, right? What color is this dragon?
Red and gray. Red and gray, yeah.
Well, maybe my TV portrays it a little bit of gray, but you'll see a little bit later what color he is. He is a scarlet color, and he's also purple. There's a reason for this, I believe. Let me show you.
If we stop the weasel and his friends from diverting the asteroid, kablooey! It kills the weasel and everyone else while we glide safely above it all. It'll be our paradise.
Now, interesting. So this is sort of the villain character of the story. And notice how he says what's going to happen when all the world is burning. Where are they going to be?
Gliding safely above.
Is there going to be people that are gliding safely above the world as it is burning?
Yes, the Christians.
Yes. So kind of interesting, right? And where does the Bible, what does it say about the dragon? Who's the dragon?
Satan.
Satan, right? But it's interesting how they're kind of playing with this character, because the dragon in the Bible is typically spoken of Satan. But is he wanting to end the world, this dragon?
Yes.
Yes? So does the dragon in the Bible want to end the world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he? Think about it. No. He doesn't. In fact, in Revelation, it talks about when there's fire that comes down from heaven, it talks about that dragon, he's trying to prevent that. He's trying to stop that, but the fire comes down. So what does it say right here? Caleb, can you read this for me?
But the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will pass away with a roar, and the heavenly bodies will be burned up and dissolved, and the earth and the works that are done on it will be exposed.
So the Bible describes a time when the world will burn, right? This is what this is speaking of. There's also a little bit later, it continues on.
So waiting for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of the heavens will be set on fire and dissolved, and the heavenly bodies will melt as they burn.
So the Bible describes the end of the world as this time that the world will be burning, but what will happen to all of the Christians? Haley, can you go ahead and read this?
Then I saw thrones, and seating on them were those to whom the authority to judge was committed. Also I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for the testimony of Jesus and for the word of God, and those who had not worshipped the beast or its image, and had not received its mark on their foreheads or their hands. They came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were ended. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is the one who shares in the first resurrection. Over such the second death has no power, but they will be priests of God and of Christ, and they will reign with him for 1,000 years.
So isn't it interesting that the picture that it gives them is these people will be reigning on, what does it say?
Thrones.
On thrones, right? And what did they just show you the dragon was sitting on?
Throne.
A throne, and he's going to be high up in the sky while the rest of the world is burning. Now this is interesting, where they're kind of starting to share with you who's trying to save the world and who's trying to destroy the world, okay? So here's the dragons, and if you'll notice their colors again, right? I just want to point this out because we'll talk about that in a biblical sense in just a second, but listen to what they say.
Now let's make sure that asteroid hits.
Why can't we just fear the apocalypse like a normal family?
All right, so they fly off into the sky. They're really letting you know that these are actual dragons. And a dragon can fly, right? That's kind of the imagery that they're giving you to. And they're flying off into the sky, right? So here is a very interesting clip here of a young couple that wants to get married. And they find that the end of the world is going to happen. And so they're talking about there being, no wedding and that there'll be no existence beyond this. So listen to what these guys say.
Julian, I want you to know that if we don't make it, if we never get married, you were the only one for me.
Hey, come on. Of course we'll make it, and we will get married.
But maybe it's the universe telling us we won't.
Whoa. You're gonna let one tiny little 300-mile wide asteroid ruin your plans?
How can we think about our future when we may not have one?
Hey, we're gonna stop this thing and you'll get married. Bada bing, bada boom. Well, not boom. Forget I said boom. I know! I'll be your wedding planner. It'll take your mind off all this end of the world stuff.
All right, so they're saying, let's just have a wedding. Let's not think about the end of the world. Why is that interesting, biblically speaking? Do you know?
At the end of time, they'll be marrying and giving in marriage.
Perfect. You guys are seeing this as well. Okay, go ahead and read this, Sophia.
But of that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be.
So isn't that kind of an interesting little thing that they're discussing in this story? Like, don't worry about the end of the world, right? Let's plan a wedding and let's keep this going. And that's kind of something that the Bible speaks about will happen in the end. People will be married and given in marriage, and this will be happening in the end. Now, here's another little scene that there's a lot of little biblical imagery that they're putting in here, but maybe you guys can tell me what story this comes from.
Let my mammals pass!
That's never gonna work.
The ancients grant us safe passage.
Sweet!
All right, what is this from?
Moses.
Moses, right? Yeah, and that was a foreshadowing, basically, right, of us walking to the what? What was Moses and leading everybody to?
Promised land.
Promised land, which is a symbol of what?
Heaven.
Heaven, right? And it's interesting that they threw that little imagery in here as well. So they're definitely discussing some Bible things. I just want you to see as well, this particular little weasel character right here, he finds this pumpkin and he thinks that this pumpkin is his baby. I don't know where they came up with this story, but it's kind of an odd thing. But I want you to just listen to the words that are said and listen to how the dragon is jealous of this pumpkin.
Lucky pumpkin. Must be nice to have a loving father.
Whew. Okay, here we go.
You can do this, Roger. Yay! Kidnapping! Look, I'm sorry. It's not me. I would never do something like this. It's my father. He's crazy.
All right. Why is that significant of what he just said right there?
He doesn't have a loving father.
He doesn't have a loving father, right? And his father wants to do what to the world?
Destroy it.
So which father is going to destroy the world in the end of time?
God.
Yeah.
God, right? So it's planting this kind of seed of an idea of, you know what? That's not a very loving thing to do. And they just put these little ideas in there, and he's describing that his father is not a loving father, okay? So here is another little scene that's kind of very interesting.
Huh? That's not the weasel. That's... I don't know what that is.
Whoa. Is it my time, Angel?
Time for what?
What do you think about that?
Interesting.
It depends.
Kind of interesting,
it
right?
depicts the dragon as an angel.
Puts the dragon as an angel. That you see this dragon coming with the light flashing by him and around him and stuff, but it's really the dragon, right? All these things are little tiny pieces of imagery. And if you're not familiar with where these kind of concepts come from, they get placed inside of your mind, right? And this is what the Bible says. Go ahead and read this, Oliver.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet beast, which is full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls.
So what is this describing?
The dragons like that they show in the movie.
The dragon, purple and scarlet, right? But what is that a symbol of in our real life, in our real world, not this particular world? What is the purple and the scarlet?
The Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, right? Do you know that there is a lot of movies that pop this kind of imagery into it of purple and scarlet? And here is, if I want you to think of this when you see the dragon with purple and scarlet. They did this in the Transformers movie when Optimus Prime was riding on what looked like a dragon. He was purple and scarlet, and this is kind of a very interesting imagery. But listen to what this little thing says right here.
I'm coming to the light. Can't wait to see all those dead relatives I hate. Ooh, get it off, get it off, get it off. Ah! Demon angel.
And that's how it's done.
Hello? Angel? Am I in heaven?
So they're making a little funny scene, right? But isn't that interesting that she called it a what?
Is it a demon angel?
A demon angel, right? So they're putting this imagery in there that this is like something evil, right? Now, remember that the dragon in the Bible is a representation of Satan, right? Mm-hmm. And the woman that's ordained in purple and scarlet, what is she a symbol of?
The Catholic Church.
The church, right? Here is a picture of what imagery has with a woman and a scarlet riding the dragon. And this is the imagery that's in the Bible. Does anybody know what this is from? This here is a picture of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the woman that's in there, and it's interesting that she's in purple and scarlet. And in a biblical sense, it's interesting that the Bible describes purple and scarlet for a particular church. Look at what colors come out of that church. That's pretty fascinating to me. How about this? If you start looking at a lot of the women that are in a lot of these cartoons, what color do you notice they're wearing? Purple and scarlet is a common theme that they will put the woman in. Now, what colors do you notice her wearing?
Purple and scarlet.
Purple and scarlet, okay? So this is now one of the characters that comes into the scene in this particular story, and they're going to talk with her, and she is a follower of this particular character that's going to be shown to you right now, okay? So they believe that they have an opportunity to save the world with this person, and this is the person that they're talking about.
If we don't do something fast, that asteroid is going to blow us all to smithereens.
Oh, that sounds urgent. I'd better take you to him.
Who's him? Your leader?
He is our everything. He sees all. He knows all.
So she says she's going to take him to a leader. She describes him as him. She says he sees all and he knows all. Who in the Bible can see everything and knows everything?
God.
Only God, right? The devil can't see everything. He doesn't know everything, right? And so it's very interesting that this is the character that they're going to introduce to the story right here. And go ahead, Caleb, read this.
For if our heart condemns us, God is greater than our hearts and knows all things.
and knows all things. So God knows all things. And Oliver, go ahead and read this one.
The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good.
Okay. Haley, go ahead and read this one.
And no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him to whom we must give account.
And who is this speaking about?
God.
Only God, right? He sees everything. He knows everything. So it's interesting that this is the character that they're going to introduce, that he is somebody who knows everything and sees everything. And here he is. They're introducing to him right now.
Here he is, the master of meditation, the supreme serene, the four-time heavy thoughts champion of the world.
Wonderful. So where is he?
He is here, talking to you.
We're all about to die.
Well, that's no good. Stress is a killer. Let us loosen our limbs and open our minds.
Seriously?
You see, there's this thing in the sky.
Oh, that blinding light that seems to get larger by the minute? What about it? It seems fine to me.
With all due respect, your twistiness, that's an asteroid. It's magnetically attracted to this place, and it's heading straight for us.
It must desire our magnetic crystals. Well, who can blame it? They're really quite something. Did you know their power grants eternal youth?
So what is the pieces of information I just told you here?
That it's like this is supposed to be like the one who knows all, and it's a goat, which is the symbol of Satan in the Bible.
Which is interesting, right? They are making fun of the fact that he's like the Dalai Lama. In fact, in here, his name is Llama, right? But a llama does not have horns. So, the only animal that has horns is a male sheep. He's a male sheep. What do you notice about his coloring?
Rainbow.
He's a rainbow. What do you think the Bible describes Jesus as? What does he look like? Have you ever read the description that John gives in Revelation?
Something about a rainbow.
It is a rainbow. In fact, listen to what it says here. I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was on his head, and his face was like the sun, and his feet were like the pillars of fire. Jesus actually has a rainbow color around his head. And so I find it very interesting that they made him. What colors do you notice he has? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. He's missing a little bit of blue. He has the purple and a little bit of indigo. But isn't that kind of interesting? That they would make the goat, llama, lamb character that knows everything, sees everything. This is kind of a twisted representation of Jesus. And he would be the one that they are saying he can save them from everything. Now listen to this.
We are young, happy, and safe, and we always will be.
So they're young, happy, and safe as long as they live with him in this crystal palace that he lives in.
Now how the devil are we going to launch these crystals?
You can't. It's impossible. Whew, I am bushed. Awesome meeting you guys. Feel free to hang or, whatever.
That's it. He was our last hope. We're doomed.
I wanted to point something out about this. What do you think about this scene?
It looks like an upside-down heart.
It looks like an upside-down heart. Okay. What is the shape of this? What is he saying it was?
Maybe it's the tree of life.
Yes. He said, I'm bushed.
I am bushed.
And he's a bush. Now, why would that be interesting in light of what we just learned about this character? Who showed up in a bush?
God.
God.
More specifically, who spoke with Moses?
Was it Jesus or God?
That was Jesus that spoke with Moses. Isn't that kind of interesting that he turns himself into the shape of a bush? That's kind of a really random scene. But I think they're kind of showing you the imagery of who they're actually meaning this character to be. So the sloth ends up getting in this crystal palace thing, and he wants a particular rock that he wants to give to this girl that he wants to marry. And he ends up hurting or destroying this little crystal palace. And listen to this.
300 years of peace and harmony undone by one colossally, incredibly, stupendously stupid sloth!
I'm really sorry, Mr. Llama.
Sorry. Sorry doesn't fix the wall now, does it, you little... I need a bubble bath or a massage. Who knows acupuncture? I need to let my anger out. Let it out!
He was this llama that was basically this very calm and serene. Does anybody know what the word serenity means? It means calm. And I looked it up in the dictionary, and listen to this. It is a title given to a reigning prince or a dignitary. Isn't that interesting? So she says, so much for this serene and this calm person that this llama was supposed to be, and now he becomes an angry llama. Why is that interesting? Can you think of anything in the Bible that talks about an angry lamb? So he becomes an angry llama, and the Bible tells us in Revelation that the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the commanders, the mighty men, every slave and every free man hid themselves in the caves that were in the rocks and the mountains. And the mountains, they said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the what? The wrath of the Lamb. Isn't that interesting that right in the end of time, we have a picture of that lamb that was slain for us is coming back with vengeance upon the end of the world. And that's the picture that they're giving to you, that this lamb is angry and he has to let his anger out. I find that kind of very interesting. And they're also kind of putting these other little imagery ideas in here. Listen to what the lamb says.
We need all the crystals loaded into the volcano pronto.
What? No! I'm not giving you my crystals. We need them to rebuild our sanctuary.
All right. What did he just say?
To rebuild our sanctuary?
What does that have to do with anything?
There's a sanctuary in heaven.
There's a sanctuary, right? And that's in connection to God. And so I found that very interesting that they would even use that little terminology. But here's what all of the animals then decide to do.
Geotopia is not yours to keep.
No, you may not.
It came from the sky, and now it's time to give it back.
It's not.
It's to you, old coot. Change isn't easy, but it's part of life. It's time for us to embrace it again, whether you like it or not.
Not.
So what is that piece of information that they just told you right here?
They said it came from the sky.
Yes, and that we need to do what?
Change.
We need to change. Does God like change? No. In fact, what does the Bible say about God and changing?
God is unchanging.
He's unchanging, right? He doesn't change at all. And so as she's sitting there telling him, you need to accept that there's this change, and he says, I don't like that, right? Here's what the Bible truth is of that. Hebrews 13:8 says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forevermore. Malachi also talks, for I, the Lord, do not change. So it's interesting that they're putting that imagery into this story. Now, here's the end of the world. As this thing is coming, I want you to look at like what this thing looks like in the sky as it's coming towards the earth.
Bad news! Somebody up there doesn't like us! We're 6 minutes behind schedule!
Double time, everyone! We need that big crystal!
Does God like us?
Yes.
Yes, right? And to look at the end of the world, is this going to be something that we want because we want to end sin? Why would you put an idea out there that says somebody up there does not like us? That's kind of like pointing the finger at God and being like, he's coming to end the world. He doesn't like us, right?
Almost like Gnosticism.
Yeah, it's kind of really flipping this idea upside down. It's like, because he's coming to end the world, he's mean. And it puts this just little seed of a thought in your mind. But does God actually really love us?
Yes.
How do we know? He says?
Yeah, he died for the cross on us.
He died for our place. Think about this. Has anyone else in heaven ever died?
No.
No one. Who's the only being that's ever died from heaven at all?
Jesus.
So that we would have an opportunity to live life, so that we could have a chance, if we wanted to go to heaven with God, right? Does that mean that he loves us or he doesn't like us?
He loves us.
So a statement like that puts an idea into young children's minds. Yeah, somebody up there, they don't like us because they're coming to destroy us.
We got company.
Sorry about this. I'm really conflicted right now.
Oh, that's more like it, Roger. Now finish him.
Wait, you don't understand. You see that? If that asteroid hits, we all die.
If it hits, we all die.
That's where you're wrong. See, while you run for your mammal lives, we'll be high in the sky, cruising above it all.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I knew it! I was right! There's no paradise!
What? I'm too young to go extinct!
She gets it! Now please! We haven't got much time!
What are you waiting for? Kill him!
No, Dad! I won't let you! Do you want to know what I love about our family? That we're alive. There are more important things than your pride right now. If you care about us, you should not kill him. You should help him, Dad.
As a father, I would work with my worst enemy to ensure a brighter future for my little one. Reinforcements have arrived!
What is happening?
They're now teaming up with the dragon.
Now they're teaming up with the dragon.
To stop.
To stop the end of the world. They were enemies at one point in time. And isn't that interesting that the Bible gives us a picture of the dragon and the woman that was riding the dragon, right, as working together in the end of time. And how do they portray him? They use the word father and you shouldn't kill them, Dad, right? Who's going to end the end of life at the end of the world?
God.
It's God. It's not the devil, actually. It's God that's making that choice. And so this is kind of putting this imagery in your mind that, you know what, I would work with my worst enemy if it meant saving life, right? That kind of puts God in a bad light if God's not going to save the world and if this worst enemy wants to save the world. Does that make sense?
And they also brought out that there's no paradise.
There's no paradise. You heard that, right? So think about all those little things that get put into your mind when you watch this thing. Like, what? It's all fake. Oh, see, there's no end of the world and there's no prize at the end. Yeah, good catch. All right, so here's the very end.
Whoa. Oh.
We did it.
We did it!
In your face, Space Rock!
Yeah, baby!
Hit the road, you stupid rock! We just stopped the doomsday clock!
All right. What do you notice about this?
Satan wins, basically. That's what they're saying.
Yes?
Like,
And they stopped what?
The doomsday clock.
What time is the doomsday clock? Yes, but what time is it?
12.
12 o'clock. What does the Bible describe as the end of the world?
Midnight.
The midnight hour, right? Isn't that interesting? That they're basically like, we prevented the end of the world, and everybody's like, yay! But in a biblical sense, do we want to prevent the end of the world?
No.
Because what does that mean for us, truly?
We go to heaven.
Eternal life.
Eternal life, and that we get a chance to never have these problems exist on this place again.
It's crazy how they use so much biblical stuff while deceiving you into thinking that there's no eternal life or there's no God or there's whatever.
Right.
God is bad, Satan's good.
Right. And it just kind of really like puts some twisted ideas into your mind about what the end of the world is like, or, you know, how can we stop this, or, you know, what is there a paradise, or, you know, what is the lamb? I mean, all of those concepts get kind of like really jumbled up in something like this. And so I thought that was pretty crazy, but you know, we want to be sure that we are keeping our eyes open and be thinking about these things. You know, there's a lot of movies, a lot of cartoons that put these kind of spiritual ideas into your brain, and you know, we spend a lot of time going to church and reading our Bibles and trying to learn what the truth is, and those things we want to keep in our minds. But you know, there's a lot of other ideas out there that are being placed into our minds as well, and we want to be careful of those. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think of this? We want to hear about it in the comments below. Please, if you see anything that's, you know, something biblical in one of these that we might have missed, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But as always, think of these things, put on your biblical eyes, and we hope that you got a blessing from today's conversation. Thank you guys for helping, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.